your establishments and investments to flourish well. I would like to share another story before I end my address, and it is another experience which could help see dreams of the heart and ideas on paper translate on the ground. This is the story of Pandalgudi and the exhausted limestone mines. It is a story of restoration of a land bare of industrial use and mining. Ravaged by decades of mining and extraction of resources, the Ramco Cements Company have chosen to take a social responsibility to restore the landscapes and the spaces. Today, a beautiful ecological park of close to 400 acres with a biodiversity of more than 80 native species of trees and plants stand testimony that the human will, when guided by environmental consciousness, can bring about change. I'd like to play a short video for you to see the transformation of the Pandalgudi mines.
Our world today requires a change of perspective.
As we wait for the video, I'd also like to share that progress is also being done for the next 400 acres of the mines to work on the restoration. And equally, wherever there are projects that industries are setting up, we hope that this can be a model for others to emulate and to take up.
Are we ready with the film, please?
Should we play it later?
Can we just, if it is not working, can we play after some time? Can the technical team
1
confirm?
minute. Okay.
Yeah? After some time? Okay. So
Okay.
Nirmala, maybe after the
Sure.
session gets over, yeah.
I'd just like to take this opportunity on behalf of the government to share again that Tamil Nadu is at the forefront of launching its very own climate change mission, and our leaders are taking the issue very seriously, and Tamil Nadu is paving the way for a greener, more resilient future for the next generation. You and all of us have a beautiful home in Tamil Nadu. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, and please accept our sincere apologies. We will remedy the video situation as soon as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, circular business models are special in the sense that they look for value creation in places usually of very little interest to companies that operate in traditional linear production paradigm. I believe the video is ready for us. Can we have the audio as well, please?
In a little over 18 months, this flagship restoration project, our world designed by Oregon Botanical Garden perspective, has planted over 200,000 trees, one that allows us to see it from a wider point of view. And this is just the beginning. One that long-term vision over the next 5 years is to cover 800 acres. And a commitment to the future of our environment. This will be a land that welcomes people, young and old, in Panda, ready to witness South India, the power of nature at the mines to restore the environment around us. We are able to witness such a project. One that has transformed a worked-out mind into a landscape of hope. We are working with local plants that will inspire the area, now thinking from a barren, about the way we wish to leave the planet into one that is now future generation. Over 80 species of native trees and shrubs. In a little over 18 months, an ever-increasing population, this flagship restoration project, butterflies, designed by Oroville Botanical Gardens, has planted over 200,000 trees and shrubs. And this is just we are rebuilding a resilient as the long-term vision over the next will have a profound impact is to cover not only on the local environment, but one that will reverberate around the mining industry. This will be a land that Ramco is showing a new way forward, who are ready to move into the UN of nature to restore the environment around us. Together, we are creating a better future. We are working with local plants, transforming the area from a barren, rocky landscape into one that is now home to over 80 species of native trees and shrubs, with an ever-increasing population of birds, butterflies, and other animals. We are rebuilding a resilient ecosystem that will have a profound impact not only on the local environment, but one that will reverberate around the mining industry. Ramco is showing a new way forward as we move into the UN decade of ecological restoration. Together, we are creating a better future. Our world today requires a change of perspective. One that allows us to see it from a wider point of view. One that recognizes long-term planning. And a commitment to the future of our environment. In Pandalguri, South India, at the mines of Ramco Cements.
That was truly incredible. We're really grateful for the fact that you shared the video here with us, ma'am. Thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to introduce to you the founder and CEO of a social enterprise that's pioneered flower cycling technologies to reduce the pollution in the river Ganga by upcycling the vast quantities of flower temple waste in India. They've been awarded the Fast Company World Changing Ideas. They've been recognized by Forbes, Fortune, Business Insider, and the Stanford Social Review. They've been recognized for driving systemic change. The founder of Fool Company, we have Ankit Agarwal. He was named a Queen's Young Leader in 2017, is both an Echoing Green and Acumen Fellow. He's received the prestigious United Nations Young Leader for Sustainable Development Goals Award, the Takeda Young Global Entrepreneur Award, the Unilever Young Entrepreneur Awards, and the GSG Millennial Honor. He's also His Royal Highness Prince William's East Short Prize finalist for the year 2022. Not just that, for all of us, Diwali just went by. I don't know about most of you. They sold out in record time for all of their Diwali gifting, and I got lucky this year. So we're very, very grateful to have you here with us. Thank you for changing the way all of us in India go about our pujas and our celebrations. We look forward to hearing from you.
Can I quickly have the slides, please? Oh. Okay. Am I audible? Perfect. So first of all, before I start, I would like to thank each and every one of you to take time out to be in this room. Because I've been to investor summits in about 4 states, and nowhere there has been a focus on sustainability by the Environment Department. So first of all, thank you for this opportunity and being here. So now in India, every single day, more than 500 million Hindus, we go to temples and we worship. We offer flowers to our gods. But hardly does anyone think, what happens to these flowers afterwards? Sadly, these sacred flowers are dumped into water bodies like the river Ganges, or we leave them under the banyan tree in the temple compound. Next slide, please. Every year, we Indians put in about 8 million tons of waste flowers in the water. Flowers that rot, flowers that are loaded with pesticides and insecticides, flowers that create a havoc in the fragile ecosystem of the water body, causing irreversible damage. All that pesticides mixes with the river water and finally leaches into your groundwater that we drink. Researchers have linked this with causes of severe hepatitis, cholera, dysentery across India and Bangladesh, affecting lives of more than 420 million people. The leading cause of child mortality. The sheer volume of flowers is overriding the biophysical stability of the water of river Ganges. Way back in 2015, I had no clue about all of this. I have a Czech friend, his name is Jakub. He had come down to India and I invited him to my hometown, Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. In my hometown, there are not many places that I can take someone to visit. So I took my friends to the ghats of river Ganges. We sat there for about an hour and he started counting. He counted around 147 people, including women and small children, taking a dip in the Ganges water. And the water was so dirty at that point in time that we didn't even want to touch that water. So Kuba asked me, are these people mad? Why are you even doing this? You will get cancer, you will get disease. I told him, you won't understand. This is India, this is river Ganges. The water has self-purifying properties and blah, blah, and all that. And I was just uttering gibberish stuff and I was not able to convince him. Then he asked me, this river is so sacred, you worship it, it's your goddess, why is it so dirty? The reasons were innumerous. There's fecal sludge, refuse from tanneries, open drainage, everything used to get into the river at that point in time. And suddenly a nearby temple dumped in a tempo full of flowers in the water. And what happened, all the pesticides, oils that were there in the flowers, that leached onto the surface of water and light started refracting. I was amazed. I've seen my parents, my grandparents, everyone puts temple waste in the water. No one has ever thought of temple pollution as a source of pollution. Next slide, please. So I went back to Semantic where I was used to working. My heart was not in the right place. And I felt that I need to really do something about this. And I invested the 72,000 rupees I had in building this company called Fool.co. The first product that we made was charcoal-free incense sticks. Normally, incense that is available in the market is made from charcoal. Simply replaced charcoal from incense and started making pure incense made from flowers. We are the world's only incense that is EcoCert, Cosmos, and Fair Trade certified. Today, we are the highest selling incense online in this country. Next slide, please. I'll quickly walk you through what happens at Fool every day. Now we are present in about 6 locations: Ayodhya, Varanasi, Badrinath, Kedarnath, Bodh Gaya, and Kanpur. We do around 32 tons of flower waste on a normal day and around 110 kgs of tons of flour on festive days. So firstly, our vehicles go to all these temples where all the flowers, all the temple waste is brought in. Then these are segregated to remove or weed out any plastic waste, any milk packets, threads that are there. Then these are sprayed with our own bioclim to offset any pesticides, organophosphates that are there. Then these flowers are thoroughly cleaned to be sun-dried. Next slide, please. Next, click. So now, back, please. Yeah. So Fool till today is known just for the incense that you see and that is available in the market. But there is more. In the past 4 years, we have invested around $2.5 million to develop the world's first dedicated R&D towards temple waste. Now I'll tell you about it. Next slide, please. So I know this slide is very gross, and each time I look at this, my stomach churns. If you spare a second and think about the leather industry is coupled with the livestock industry. Together, these two industries consume around 27% of the Earth's fresh water supply around
most progressive and the most developed state in India is Tamil Nadu. And you'll all know, and most of you know that most of you have been here for a long time, and some of you who have come from Japan, even after the terrible disaster that the tsunami struck you, I'm extremely thankful for all of you for having taken time to come here. And please take the stories about Tamil Nadu to the world. Please tell the Japanese people that we are ready, and we are also, I'll just give you one last line of support. Like you bring in your investments, we are also planning to export a lot of talent. When my chief minister and myself were there in Japan recently, the government there had asked us to give them talent pool which has
Now, Osaka Prefecture is keen on strengthening cooperation with Tamil Nadu government. Toward this, today, Mr. Hirokumi Ichisaka, Senior Executive Director, International Relations from Osaka Prefecture Government, will deliver a letter from Governor of Osaka, Mr. Hirokumi Yoshimura. May I request Ichisaka-san to come up to the dais and hand over the letters. Thank you very much. And the last, but not the least, the Hiroshima Prefecture government signed MOU with the government of Tamil Nadu last November. Based on this MOU, that they dispatched these delegations to participate in this event. I'd like to request Mr. Hiroyoshi Funaishi, Associate Director of Foreign Business from Hiroshima Prefecture, to come up to the dais and show that MOU signed with government government of Tamil Nadu. So everybody has 3 delegates from 3 pictures. Please come up to the dais and have a group photo of all. Yes, Ichisaka-san, yes, and everybody. People, everybody, please give a big applause to the. Thank you very much, everybody. Yes. Yeah, well, thank you very much. So please come down to the ground floor. And... Osaka video is Well, thank you very much, the Minister and Mr. Vishnu. Now he's leaving next appointment, so please give him a big applause. Well, thank you very much. Please have a seat. So we are going back to that resume the session, and well, Osaka video is now possible to project now. If possible, please project now with the audio.
Projection change.
Yes, this is the video that Mr. Ichisaka-san wanted to introduce you. So please watch this one.
There's a problem with this laptop. Problem with this laptop. Wrong. Yeah. What? So you can.
Again, so sorry that again that the volume, the audio is not come out.
Can you just send the video to us?
Please. The stuff that the sound is not no. Switch on the sound, then. So after the remaining the program is that the Kochi Prefecture session and the THK's presentations. I'm considering to have the Osaka video, then THK presentation, then Kochi presentations, Kochi sessions. So it seems that the sound or that the video again cannot project now. So now that we will ask the THK people to have a presentation now. Well, the THK people, thank you very much for waiting and sorry for the inconvenience. Well, please have our presentations.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ishihara of THK. In first, I would like to express my deep thankful to Mr. Taga, Council General, for giving us this good opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Taga. You may not be familiar with THK. We are producing linear motion guide, which is very important machine component element, production. So every machinery has linear motion, rotation motion, and this combination. Linear motion guide is supporting this linear movement. We developed this linear motion guide in 1971. At that time, no competitor. We used to have 100% market share in the world. So this map showing our facility in the world. So our headquarters located in Tokyo, Japan. Red dot showing our manufacturing facility. White color showing our sales facility. So in Asia, Europe, North America, South Africa. So we have 37 manufacturing plants in the world and 122 sales offices in the world. THK is the top brand in this segment. So now I want to pass our THK India activity to my staff, Mr. Furusawa.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Furusawa. Let me just quick explanation. THK India. Since 2012, we have a total of 5 branches in India. Then, fortunately, 2020, our dream came true. Our manufacturing plant in India, make in India. So total staff is 40%, and the Japanese total 3%. Our segment mainly 2 division: industry machinery division and automobile parts division. In India, our main customer is almost industry machinery division. Please next. Next. What is industry machinery division? We have consumer goods and capital goods, but in India, our main customer is general industry and machine tool industry and special purpose machine industry, such as those customers. But we would like to more expand our new business in India. So from now on, our staff, Mr. Nishant and Mr. Krish, explain to you our new business activity in India.
So, good morning to everyone. My name is Krishnamurthy. I am the South Regional Manager for THK India Private Limited. So, quickly I will go to explain how THK is associated with the government projects. So, very recently we have been working with most of the government projects as well as DRDO projects. And also our linear motion guideways and ball screws is associated with so many private sectors which is directly connected to the government projects. So for such companies also we are working very closely. And this is the very success story. You must be heard the Chandrayaan-3. So very recently we have been associated with ISRO, and we have supplied our linear motion guideways, cam followers, link balls to the antenna. So where the recollecting will be happen, and it can pass on the signals to the rockets. So this is the video we can able to see. So the transfer line of the rocket, we have been associated with ISRO, and we have supplied our linear motion guideways, which is more than 85 sizes. So it can give the precise transferation from one place to another place. So it can be accumulated, and it can give proper stand up, and the rocket can take off. So we have done these projects very frequently with the ISRO. And this is very, proud moment even for THK to associate with such kind of a successful story with the government of India. So, although even though only not for the rocket, even with the spacecrafts, so our ball screws as well as linear motion gateways is going to be associated to capture the pictures from the satellites. So we have been supplied our regular ball screws as well as the linear motion gateways for this one. So if you can go through this one, so this is the passengers inside the the rockets where it goes to the space. So we have been associated with not only with the ISRO. So our product has been used in NASA also. One of the customers who is located in Coimbatore, so he is making such kind of product and which can be supplied to ISRO as well as to the NASA. So and yeah, THK is very proud for doing such kind of products. Yeah, so this is the satellite integrated fixtures where you can see. So we have been supplied the bigger sizes of LM gateways with longer length. As you can see, it's so not only for the satellites, so we are also associated with most of the DRDO projects where DRDO is producing radar systems. In the radar systems, so for usage of cameras, so we are supplying this one. And also we were associated with so many private companies where they are producing, the carriages of transfer line of, airplanes as well as other satellites. So this is two of the applications you can able to see that one. So most of localized companies are doing with association of government projects. So where we are supplying our linear motion guideways as well as link balls and other bushers. So as you can see, one of the video where we have been supplied to the metro doors, so the closing and the opening. So you can see as well as the for the seating systems. So even the chairs, so 360, we are supplying our crossover bearings. You can turn 360 and you can able to sit. So for that applications also, we are very closely working with private sectors. And this is the passenger line. So when you see the aircrafts, so the passenger will move from their boarding bridge. So for that also crossover bearing to turn the, from boarding to the aeroplane adjustment, we are giving our crossover bearings. Yeah, that's it from my end. My colleague Mr. Nishant will continue further. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Myself Nishant from THK India. So next slide, please. Next. So just based on our company vision, next. We are transforming, we are into, as you can see here, medical equipments, automotive industry, seismic devices, diamond cutting machine, warehouse automation, and semiconductor industry. Next. So as you can see here in medical sector, we are supplying some of the most critical components in CT scan machines, like our curved guides, we are the only company in India who is supplying these curvature guides, as well as cross roller rings. Next. Apart from this, we are also supplying in X-ray machine manufacturers also. Next. And of course, the medical robots. So we believe medical robots are the future of next medical healthcare advancement systems. And as well as next series of machine would be like next. Next, please. Blood analyzer machines. So in this customer where the space is very less, they are using our miniature series of linear motion guides, and these are used for testing of bloods and all. Next. Okay, so another interesting field is warehouse automation. So basically these are automated medical and also you can say warehouse robots who are using advanced AI technology. Next. Next. One more next. So as you can see in this video, with the help of THK linear motion guides, these robots are able to sustain very heavy loads. At the same time, they are increasing the efficiency as well as performance of these robots. Next. So most of, you can see if you go to the biggest brands in the world like Amazon and Flipkart, you will see such kind of robotic automation at their warehouses. Next. And also you will see our application in high-speed carton shuttle application as well. Next. Here we are supplying our ATG series. Next. Okay. Another sector is semiconductor. Now coming to semiconductor, as we all know, semiconductor is the next booming industry in India. And so THK is supplying to next battery manufacturing line industry, where the space is very less and at the same time these needs to be very accurate and highly precise. Next. And the second segment here will be the glass and face polishing machines. Basically these are used for manufacturing of polishing and crystal glass services, and these can be used for any smartphone screens and navigation system as well. Next please. Next. Okay, so now let me show you one of the most interesting sector in India, that is diamond cutting machines. Next. So here THK provides one of its most unique boss screws for diamond planing machine. The job of this machine is to basically plan and cut a rough cut diamond into a final cut diamonds. Next. You can see the basic difference here, like from a rough cut, the diamond goes to a final face cutting of a final cut diamond. Next. The second process will be the diamond cutting machine. So here you can see this industry is using some of our prestigious BNK series ball screws, as well as our VR guides. The job of this machine is to precisely give the shape of a diamond. Next please. After that, this is a new technology called CVD. Basically, these machines are also known as chemical vapor deposit. It is used to make a lab-grown diamonds. Next. So here in the screen, you can see a natural diamond and a lab-grown diamonds. You cannot find any difference between them. And these are getting a very new, as of now in India, Next. Second one will be a jewelry making machine. These are used for making gold jewelry and artificial jewelry. Next. After that, coming to the automotive segment, here we are supplying our link balls to two-wheeler industries for shifting of gear pedal application. Next. And also we are providing our rod ends for electric steering dampers. Next. These are some of the customers like Honda. Next please. Kawasaki, Triumph and BMW, to name the few. And also in India we are supplying to tractor industry as well. Next. Here again we are supplying for shifting of gear mechanism, as you can see in the screen here. Next. And also these products can also be used in manuring, in planting application as well. Next. So here in this you can see the THK footprint for automotive industry. This journey started in 1971, and as you can see here, now we are catering to almost all the top brands in the world, like Nissan, Ford, BMW, Toyota, Mercedes, Honda, and so on. Next. Apart from this, we are also catering to electric vehicle segment also. Here we have developed few critical components like in-wheel motors, electric service brake, contactless power system, stealth seats, active level control suspension, and MR damper tube. Next. As of now, these are our list of customers whom we are catering in the world as of now. So now I would like to invite Mr. Sadhu-san, and thank you.
Hello, good morning. My name is Makoto Sado from THK India. Next, at the end of our presentation, I would like to briefly introduce our plant. Our company has 50 acres of land in Sri City, and which is about 2.5 hours by car from here. Next, please. We have been opening the first factory with a floor space approximately 40,000 square meters, and have started a production of HSR, which is a global model of LM guide. That is our main product and in high demand in India. After this, in order to demand in India and abroad, we will expand the production item such as HRX and HDR, and this year we will introduce SRG. Next, please. And we have a planned second factory, began to construction of the second factory in this year, April. Next, please. You don't have a video. I would like to watch our company's introduction video. No, okay. Maybe we cannot prepare for you. You cannot watch the video. Finally, by
Founded in 1971, THK has been constantly revolutionizing various industries across the globe with its proprietary linear motion technology. Toughness, high quality, and know-how are the hallmarks of THK. Having invented the linear motion guide in 1972, we have been the global pioneer of developing the linear motion system worldwide. THK's first LM guide model, LSR, is registered at the National Museum of Nature and Science in Japan in recognition of bringing about significant technological development in industrial manufacturing. Guided by the philosophy of providing innovative products to the world, THK has 37 fully equipped manufacturing facilities, 3 development bases, and 120 strategic sales bases, which makes us the torchbearer of linear motion technology in the world. As part of our strategy of full-scale globalization, we have extended our geographical range to encompass India. Keeping up our rich tradition and legacy, THK India Private Limited has set up a robust manufacturing plant at Sri City, a world-class integrated business city located in Andhra Pradesh. Currently, we are engaged in producing LM guideways at this substantial plant, occupying a constructed area of 36,691 square meters. Our future endeavors include diversifying our manufacturing to encompass various other linear motion products, all within the expansive scope of 205,000 square meters. We strive to leverage our core linear motion system technology and expertise to develop original products based on extensive research and development. This facility
was given very clearly by each and every one of them. Now, I think the time is already up, but maybe I can take 2 questions from the audience. So, please raise your hand if you have a query. Yes, please. What's your name? Yeah, the mic is coming to you.
Arvind, in the interest of time, we're going to request you to keep the question crisp,
very quick.
please. Thank you.
The only question is wetlands. When we talk about, I have become a fan of that work. And my question particularly is TNGCC's idea and are we continuing to only grow the wetlands from here, or is your scope of work to reduce the reducing wetlands which have been taken up by say industries or other housing apartments or something?
Basically, it encompasses both, but I think we should try to work on something which is easily doable to start with, because it takes a long time to convince people. So we have started with what is already available and what is most important. So for example, we are starting with Pallikarnai. And you will very soon see some kind of a huge conservation center about wetlands, informing people. So one step at a time. Yeah? Second question, the last one?
Yes, sir.
I think the time is up. Yeah, I
Sir,
would
there's
like
a
to
mic
give a
right
chance
next
to,
to you, but we'll just go to that question and come right back. Can you use your mic, please? Can I get you to speak into it, please?
My name is Desika. I'm really thankful for this session and such information given here. I work on sustainability as well as entrepreneurship development. So my question was, the problem statement given to the students, on college students, is not really clear. They're not getting the problem statement on climate action. So how do we get a collaboration of corporate, government, as well as student technology to come in, and what steps are the government trying to take into getting the problem statement clear in climate action so we can homegrown all the technologies available and put it to action?
That's a very good suggestion. I've taken note of it. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, I think we have time for one more. Would you like to take one more?
Yes, I think, sir. Yeah, please.
My name is Sahai Luis. I'm from Oman. Madam, just quick question only. Is there a net zero policy given by state already in the net zero policy 2050? Because country policy is 2070, if I'm not wrong. Gulf, GCC and all 2040 they have policy.
Yes.
Is there any policy already given by state, or I just want to understand?
Our Honorable Chief Minister has already announced that Tamil Nadu will achieve the net zero target well before Government of India. But in order to put a date and a year to that, we would like to go with the science, data and evidence, as I mentioned. So we are already working on our greenhouse gas inventory, which is almost ready. Only when we know our emissions and we know our decarbonization pathways, we will be able to actually pinpoint a particular year. That work is going on. Shortly, we should be able to finalize that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Due to paucity of time, we will not be able to take any more questions, but we do encourage you to continue these discussions off stage as well. May I please invite Thiru Prashant IAS, Special Secretary, Finance Department, Government of Tamil Nadu, to please join us on the dais to felicitate our dignitaries. May we please begin with the Additional Chief Secretary, Department of Environment, Climate Change and Forest, Government of Tamil Nadu. Next, sir, if I can request you to please stay back and felicitate Thiru Ankit Agarwal, founder, Fool CEO, Fool Co. Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much. I'm going to request you to please be seated. May I now invite on stage Dr. Prabhakaran IAS, Managing Director, Tamil Nadu Urban Housing Board, to please felicitate Thiru Venkatamurugan NS. Thank you once again, sir, for taking time to share all of the work that you've been doing there. It's absolutely incredible, and we're hoping more people model that. We'd also like to thank the founder of Coco Trade, Thiru L. Nitin Chaudia. Thank you, Nitin. Thank you, Doctor. May I invite our panelists to please step forward for one group photograph. Ladies and gentlemen, with that we conclude the session on embracing climate action through circular economy. On behalf of the Environment, Climate Change and Forest Department, Government of Tamil Nadu, I want to thank you all for joining us here and for being a part of this. More importantly, our sincere request is the discussions here don't end with this event. They continue and you take them forward in your lives as well. Thank you so very much. We're requesting 5 minutes of your time for us to change over for our next session, which is the Startup Investors Summit. We'll have the Honorable Minister for MSME, Thiru Thamo Anbarasan Avargal, who will be joining us here, as well as the Chief Executive Officer of TNGIM, Mr. Sivaraja Ramanathan, who will also be joining us for that one. Thank you so very much. This is me, Sahitya, signing off. Nandri, Vanakkam.
இல்லை கொண்டு வரோம் பின்னால் வச்சுட்டு இருக்காரு.
இந்தாங்க.
Good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. We will begin the session in a couple of minutes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Startup Investors Summit. So in this summit, we have a fireside chat with Startup Genome team, keynote address from Dr. Velumani sir, and an engaging panel discussion. We will be beginning in a couple of minutes. I request the delegates to kindly be seated. Thank you.
Good afternoon all. We will begin the session in a couple of minutes. Honorable MSME Minister is on his way to take part in the session. So we will wait for him for two to 3 minutes. அனைவருக்கும் மதிய வணக்கம். நிகழ்வு இன்னும் சில மணித்துளிகளில் தொடங்க இருக்கிறது. நிகழ்வில் கலந்து கொள்ள மாண்புமிகு MSME துறை அமைச்சர் அவர்கள் வருகை புரிந்து கொண்டிருக்கிறார். தொடர்ந்து ஸ்டார்ட் அப் ஜீனோம் தலைமை செயல் அலுவலர் திரு மார்க் பென்சல், தைரோகேர் நிறுவனர் திரு வேலுமணி ஆகியோர் கலந்து கொள்ளும் அமர்வுகளும், மேலும் புத்தொழில் முதலீடு சார்ந்த கலந்துரையாடல் அமர்வும் நடைபெற இருக்கிறது. தங்கள் அனைவருடைய ஒத்துழைப்பையும் அன்போடு வேண்டுகிறோம். அனைவருக்கும் இனிய மதிய வணக்கம். உலக முதலீட்டாளர்கள் மாநாடு 2024 அமர்வில் குறு சிறு மற்றும் நடுத்தர தொழில் நிறுவனங்கள் துறை சார்பில் அமைக்கப்பட்டிருக்கும் புத்தொழில் முதலீட்டாளர்கள் சந்திப்பு நிகழ்விற்கு வருகை புரிந்திருக்கும் உங்கள் அனைவரையும் அன்போடு வரவேற்கிறோம். நிகழ்வினை சிறப்பிக்க வருகை புரிந்திருக்கும் மாண்புமிகு குறு சிறு மற்றும் நடுத்தர தொழில் நிறுவனங்கள் துறை அமைச்சர் அவர்கள், குறு சிறு மற்றும் நடுத்தர தொழில் நிறுவனங்கள் துறை செயலாளர் அவர்கள், சிட்கோ நிர்வாக இயக்குனர் அவர்கள் அனைவரையும் அன்போடு வரவேற்கிறோம். நிர்வாக இயக்குனர் டிக் திரு ஹன்ஸ்ராஜ் வர்மா ஐஏஎஸ் அவர்களையும் அன்போடு வரவேற்கிறோம். தற்போது புத்தாக்க சிந்தனை, சிறந்த வணிக மாதிரி, நிறுவனங்களை விரிவுபடுத்தும் உத்திகள் போன்ற சிறப்பான செயல்பாடுகளால் தமிழ்நாடு அரசு மற்றும் பல்வேறு தனியார் துணிகர முதலீட்டு நிறுவனங்களிடமிருந்து முதலீடு திரட்டியுள்ள ஸ்டார்ட் அப் நிறுவனங்களை சிறப்பு செய்யும் தருணம் இது. அவர்களை சிறப்பு செய்ய மாண்புமிகு குறு சிறு மற்றும் நடுத்தர தொழில்துறை அமைச்சர் அவர்களை அன்போடு மேடைக்கு அழைக்கின்றோம். உடன் குறு சிறு மற்றும் நடுத்தர தொழில் நிறுவனங்கள் துறை செயலாளர் அவர்களையும் தமிழ்நாடு புத்தொழில் மற்றும் புத்தாக்க இயக்கத்தின் இயக்க இயக்குனர் அவர்களையும் அன்போடு மேடைக்கு அழைக்கின்றோம். $15 கோடி முதலீடு திரட்டியுள்ள அக்ரோஸ்பிரட்டின் டெக் சொல்யூஷன்ஸ் நிறுவனத்தின் திரு ஜாபி அவர்களை அன்போடு மேடைக்கு அழைக்கின்றோம். தொடர்ந்து ஓரோ மணி நிறுவனத்தின் திரு பாட்ஷா அவர்களை அன்போடு மேடைக்கு அழைக்கின்றோம். இவர் $145 கோடி முதலீடு திரட்டியுள்ளார். நிறுவனத்தின் சேர்மன் திரு ஹன்ஸ்ராஜ் வர்மா ஐஏஎஸ் அவர்களையும் அன்போடு மேடைக்கு அழைக்கின்றோம். சிட்கோ நிர்வாக இயக்குனர் அவர்களையும் அன்போடு மேடைக்கு அழைக்கின்றோம். தொடர்ந்து $4.18 மில்லியன் முதலீடு திரட்டியுள்ள திரு கிரு மைக்கப்பிள்ளை டிவைன் ஃபுட்ஸ் நிறுவனத்தினை அன்போடு மேடைக்கு அழைக்கின்றோம். அனைவரும் தங்களது பலத்த கைத்தட்டல்களை பரிசாக அளிக்கலாம். தொடர்ந்து $1.5 மில்லியன் முதலீடு திரட்டியுள்ள ஸ்வீட் காரம் காஃபி நிறுவனத்தின் திரு ஆனந்த் திரு ஸ்ரீவத்சன் அவர்களை அன்போடு மேடைக்கு அழைக்கின்றோம். தொடர்ந்து 50 கோடி ரூபாய் முதலீடு திரட்டியுள்ள அகம் ஹவுசிங் பினான்ஸ் பிரைவேட் லிமிடெட் திரு வெங்கடேஷ் கண்ணப்பன் அவர்களை அன்போடு மேடை கலைக்கின்றோம். தொடர்ந்து 200 கோடி ரூபாய் முதலீடு திரட்டியுள்ள அக்னிகோல் காஸ்மோஸ் நிறுவனத்தின் திரு ஸ்ரீநாத் ரவிச்சந்திரன் அவர்களை அன்போடு மேடை கலைக்கிறோம். தொடர்ந்து 29.4 மில்லியன் டாலர் முதலீடு திரட்டியுள்ள சூப்பர் ஓப்போஸ் டெக்னாலஜி நிறுவனத்தின் திரு அரவிந்த் பார்த்திபன் அவர்களை அன்போடு மேடை கலைக்கிறோம். தொடர்ந்து 1.5 கோடி ரூபாய் முதலீடு திரட்டியுள்ள எக்ஸ்கோட்டிக் கேம்ப் அட்வென்ச்சர்ஸ் நிறுவனத்தின் திரு சுவாமிநாதன் சுப்பிரமணியன் அவர்களை அன்போடு மேடை கலைக்கின்றோம். தொடர்ந்து 1.5 கோடி ரூபாய் முதலீடு திரட்டியுள்ள ஜெரோ ரோபோட்டிக்ஸ் பிரைவேட் லிமிடெட் நிறுவனத்தின் திரு மோகன் அவர்களை அன்போடு மேடை கலைக்கின்றோம். தொடர்ந்து 1 மில்லியன் டாலர் முதலீடு திரட்டியுள்ள செக்யூரெக்ஸ் டெக்னாலஜிஸ் பிரைவேட் லிமிடெட் நிறுவனத்தின் திரு கார்த்திக் அவர்களை அன்போடு மேடை கலைக்கிறோம். தொடர்ந்து 500,000 அமெரிக்க டாலர் முதலீடு திரட்டியுள்ள மிஸ்டர் மெட் நிறுவனத்தின் சௌரப் அவர்களை அன்போடு மேடை கலைக்கிறோம். தொடர்ந்து 5 கோடி ரூபாய் முதலீடு திரட்டியுள்ள சூரியனோவா பிரைவேட் லிமிடெட் நிறுவனத்தின் திரு சுந்தர் அவர்களை அன்போடு மேடை கலைக்கிறோம். தொடர்ந்து 50 கோடி ரூபாய் முதலீடு திரட்டியுள்ள தொடர்ந்து 50 கோடி ரூபாய் முதலீடு திரட்டியுள்ள குரோத் எக்ஸிஸ்டி பினான்ஸ் பிரைவேட் லிமிடெட் நிறுவனத்தின் திரு அர்ஜுன் முரளிதரன் அவர்களை அன்போடு மேடை கலைக்கிறோம். புத்தொழில் நிறுவனர்களை வாழ்த்திய மேடையில் உள்ள சான்றோர் அவர்களுக்கு நன்றியை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறோம். அனைத்து புத்தொழில் நிறுவனங்களுக்கும் எங்களுடைய வாழ்த்துக்களையும் தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறோம். தொடர்ந்து அடுத்த அமர்வு நடைபெற இருக்கிறது.
It is my privilege and honor to welcome Mr. Mark Benzel, founder and president of Startup Genome, to the stage. Mark Benzel envisions a knowledge network that empowers policymakers globally to foster startup success and economic impact. I feel equally privileged to welcome Mr. Ravi Narayan, Senior Advisor at Startup Genome. He is a pioneer in the venture catalyst and startup accelerator domain, bringing over 3 decades of multifaceted experience in entrepreneurship, mentorship, and strategic investment. I welcome Mr. Mark Benzel and Mr. Ravi Narayan to the dais to throw light on why Tamil Nadu is the best state for startup investments. Okay, fine. Yeah. So over to Mr. Mark Benzel, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome. It's a privilege to be here with you all today. On behalf of Startup Genome, thank you so much for having us. So just for context, if we take exits as a proxy for value creation in the global startup ecosystem, what we've been struggling with the last couple of decades is that the vast majority of value is still captured by a select few places in the world. You can see that Silicon Valley, London, New York, a few places have notoriously been capturing the vast majority of that value. This is why we created Startup Genome. It was always our mission to level the playing field and to build a global community of ecosystem builders, government leaders that all work together in order for us to really create a more equitable global startup ecosystem. Startup Genome today is the world-leading policy innovation and advisory firm. We've been working with around 150 different entities across 50 countries to date. Here you can see a quick snapshot of all of the recent government clients that we've been working with. I won't go into the details. I just wanted to mention a few examples. Most recently, I spent most of my time in the United Arab Emirates. I've been working very closely with government leaders in the United States, in Detroit, for example, but also in my home country, in Germany. We've been advising the largest state on innovation policy, industrial policy, as it relates to startup ecosystem development. And most recently, most of my time I spent in Tokyo, in Japan. Before we jump into the details, I just wanted to mention a few key principles of ecosystem development, some of the learnings that we captured. And some of the experts in the crowd will have seen this before, but I just wanted to highlight this again to bring everyone on the same page. So governments tend to do a best job when they support ecosystem development, and investors do that too, if we're all entrepreneur-centric. Oftentimes we see that, it's not really the case, so we mention this every time. What we see in the data as well is that if you focus really on community building, bringing together at the local level and at the global level, investors, entrepreneurs, policymakers to learn from each other, this is where we can really accelerate the growth of our ecosystems. What we defined at the time is our ecosystem lifecycle model, which really puts ecosystems into 4 different phases. And what we understood is that policies and programs might make sense for one government, for one ecosystem, but another ecosystem might be at an entirely different point in their journey, and then it makes less of a sense. So it's really important to understand where are we in our development journey and what kind of policies and what kind of programs have the highest return on investment for our government and for our ecosystem today. Don't copy Silicon Valley. You've heard this many, many times already. Sometimes in the past we've seen regions around the world really try to copy the success, the secrets of Silicon Valley, only to fail, because really what you need to do instead is to stay close to who you are, identify your own core strengths, your value proposition, and then from that intrinsic strength and motivation, develop your ecosystem. The last point, perhaps the most important point, is that government policy, at least as far as startup ecosystem development is concerned, typically flows through the private sector. I'll have one or two examples afterwards, but it's really important to mention that the private players in the startup ecosystem, they understand best what they need. The entrepreneurs know what they need, the investors know what they need. So as a government, support the private sector and don't step in trying to pretend that you're a private actor of the ecosystem. Once a year, you might have seen this, we publish the Global Startup Ecosystem Report. It's the most comprehensive data set on startup ecosystems in the world. We're looking at over 300 leading ecosystems to this date, and we see around 300,000 downloaders, readers of this research report every year. One of the key findings in this last publication that really struck our team was that India's startup ecosystem right now is already worth a cumulative $450 billion US. That's an incredible amount of value that your entrepreneurs, your investors, and your governments have been creating over the course of the last couple of years. When we look underneath, because once a year we're ranking startup ecosystems, you will see that in our global ranking, India's startup ecosystems have been growing the fastest among all of the different ecosystems that are part of our database. I'm sorry, I'm still struggling a little bit with the slides. Here you can see it. So at this point, we have already 6 ecosystems that are part of the top 100 in our global startup ecosystem ranking, which is an incredible feat. And you see that Tamil Nadu really has been growing extremely fast in the last couple of years. It's one of the ecosystems that has been highlighted by our team for its tremendous growth, and this is why I'm very privileged and honored to speak to you about the Tamil Nadu ecosystem today. So when we zoom into Tamil Nadu, as you're seeing, in 2021, we ranked the ecosystem at rank 108, in 22, 85, in 23, 78. At this growth trajectory, it is perfectly possible for Tamil Nadu to break into the global top 20 startup ecosystems by 2030. And I really don't want to say this lightly, because so many governments complain to me, why are we not growing? Why are we not going up in the ranking? The truth is, everyone is growing very fast. Governments everywhere are aggressively investing a lot of funding into the startup ecosystem. And the question always is, are we growing faster or slower than our competitors? And here in Tamil Nadu, it's really fascinating and amazing to see that you're growing faster than your peers, your competitors, and this is likely to continue in the future. When we zoom into the ranking as a proxy for value creation, again, the sum of exits and funding rounds, we call that the ecosystem value. You're seeing that Tamil Nadu, over the course of the last 3 years alone, nearly tripled its ecosystem value to around $11 billion over the last 2-3 years, which is unheard of in our ecosystem ranking. Yet, when I attend this conference and when I hear some of the other distinguished speakers, our team and I, we really think this growth, this trajectory is only starting to pick up right here in Tamil Nadu. And you've seen some of the statistics that I will show you in a second, because some of the amazing things that you have here is some of the fastest growth in India as far as your economy is concerned, the highest patent creation, and then also you see 400,000 annual university graduates, so an incredible amount of educated talent that is here in the ecosystem. And these are really some of the key ingredients when we think about and when we talk about what makes a successful global startup ecosystem. It's really these key ingredients. When I looked into this macroeconomic statistics, I wanted to dive into our data set and see to what extent I can verify if that is true. And as a proxy for coding talent, we oftentimes look into GitHub, a global repository of coders and a place for software engineers to come and to share their code. And it's been amazing to see that Tamil Nadu really has an abundance of coding talent. There is more talent here in the ecosystem than there is in Taipei City, in Singapore, or even in Delhi when we think of raw coding talent. When we try to look and we try to proxy what are the next couple of years going to look like for the ecosystem, we look at what we call early stage funding. We might have different definitions in mind when we think of early stage funding. For us, this is seed funding and Series A funding. So some people have an earlier definition of early stage funding, but this is just a proxy for us to understand what is the next generation of founders in the ecosystem looking like. And we can see that between 2018 and 22, the amount that early stage funding for Tamil Nadu increased is about or almost 80%, which is incredible as well. So because we're working with many governments and ecosystems around the world, I just wanted to bring 3 very short considerations before we jump into the conversation. The first one is, it's very clear in our data set and very clear on what I find on Tamil Nadu, that there is an opportunity to leverage the upcoming industrial revolution. So here you can see in our database over the course of the last couple of years, when we compare traditional tech, software as a service, and tech-enabled businesses to deep tech-related services and deep tech-related products, we're seeing that the share of investment at a global level continues to increase in deep tech business. And that is true for the deal count, so the amount of investments that are made into deep tech, but it's also true for deal volume, so the amount of money that is poured into deep tech continues to grow in terms of proportion, in terms of importance in comparison to tech. When we zoom into that perspective, here are a few subsectors or verticals of innovation that we'd like to take a look at. And here on the y-axis, you can see the growth rate globally of Series A investments. And you can also see on the x-axis the exit value growth that we're seeing in ecosystems all over the world combined. And here, one of the key areas that has to stand out as far as our growth subsectors are concerned is advanced manufacturing and robotics. You see that there is the fastest Series A growth rate for advanced manufacturing and robotics. And you can also see that the size of the bubble is still comparatively small. And the size of the bubble represents the current net value of the subsector. So really, it is one big opportunity for the state of Tamil Nadu to zero in on. I heard this a few times already, but I still ask the question, why is that true? Well, because you have all of the customers you could imagine for AMR and robotics businesses here in Tamil Nadu, right? As a proportion to GDP, 22% of your GDP is because of your strong manufacturing base here in the state. So putting these trends together with what you have here in the ecosystem, it's got to be a key opportunity for Tamil Nadu. The second key point, for any globally successful startup ecosystem,